Okay, part 11 now. We're going into SIG 2, which is 2 small stages and 2 boss fights, so let's go. Skip the cutscene. So the first stage is pretty easy. Literally just damage boost through everything and keep going. This is the stage. Whoops. That's the stage. So the only real thing to mention here is charge. You only need one shot, one sure shot. Take the damage boost in a way that you take damage and you're on the ground, so you can move immediately, like this, instead of taking a hit high and then having to wait to land and then keep moving. So to do that, the first one's pretty easy. Jump to this line and then do a full jump, and you will land on the ground and the missile will hit you like that. The shot is for this guy. If he drops health and you jump too high, you will grab it, but if you do a mid jump, you will go under the drop, so it doesn't matter. You kill him so you can jump a little bit higher, but it's not necessary. So you can go like that. Problem is, it's harder to take the damage boost on the ground, so you can move immediately. And then here you damage boost from here, so you can land here after getting hit, and then go over this guy, jump and Nova. And that's it, really. Oops, yeah, maybe that can happen, but such a small time loss that it doesn't really matter. And equip the double cyclone, which is Double's weakness, because yes, we are fighting our little yellow fat guy. We use Nova there for movement back here, because it doesn't really save any time on Double, at least not RTA. I know the TAS uses Nova, but I don't think it's RTA viable right now, so we use Nova just to skip all that section. Nova deals 6 damage to Double, his weakness does 5, so it doesn't really save a hit unless you do some kind of CFO. Okay, so Double now, just match the text, and the fight can start with 2 patterns. So he can either do that or do this and jump at the beginning, one of the two. So what I do is jump, shoot when I'm near him, and then I keep going right, so I hit him, so I have iframes to whatever pattern he decides to make. Because if he, whoops, not this one, if he does the balls, he stays there, and then I just take damage from the ball. So yeah, that's how I start the fight. Doesn't matter what he does, I jump at him, shoot, and then keep moving forward to get hit. Now, Double, I think his body deals 6 damage, so it's like a Nova basically for you. Let me... yeah, that's 3, 4, 5, yeah, definitely 6 damage. Definitely 6 or 5 damage, one of the two. And his ball also does that same damage, but these little guys that spawn, their shots deal 1 and their body, I mean 2 damage, and the body does 2 damage also. Also those little ones that start jumping also deal 2 damage. So you wanna hit them instead of double, because he will wreck you. Even with... shit. Even with full armor. You can see that if I take damage from him instead of the little things, I die faster than he dies. So you have to take damage from those little things that spawn when you use his weakness on him. Buster doesn't spawn them, but Buster deals 2 damage, and this is 5, so he dies pretty quickly. Now if you're confident he's going to die, you can just tank the damage. But yeah, if you are going to take damage, you wanna take damage from the shots or the body of those small things that spawn. But that's basically it. That's all the patterns he has. Well, almost. He goes up, spawns these things when he gets hit with the weakness. He throws these balls. If he's below half HP, he can do that attack. He usually dies before doing that, so you don't have to worry about it. When he's below half health, he does that one, I believe, or when he's about to get in yellow. And the blue balls, when he's below half, he throws 2, and when not, he only throws 1. But yeah, that's about it for this fight. Other than, since he has some voice lines, I think the worst boss voice line RNG is like 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds. It's some dumb stuff. Like, it loses a lot of time. The one last thing is, if you kill double in the air, after you kill him, there's a text box. This one. The text box won't spawn, won't start spawning until he's on the ground. So by killing him on the ground, you actually save a little bit of time, because you don't have to wait for the text box. Like this, he dies and the text box spawns way faster. So, depending on the pattern, sometimes it's kind of impossible to kill him on the ground. But if you can, if you're fast enough, sometimes you can. So ideally you kill him on the ground, or you're losing additional time. I don't think it's worth it to wait. If he's up, I don't think it's worth it to wait for him to come down. Just follow him up and kill him up there. But that's about it. The thing of the fight, you basically have 2 options. After you take damage, you use the right wall or the left wall, and try to set his iframes in such a way that he will die on the ground. I feel like the right wall is more consistent with him dying on the ground than the left wall. I don't know why. But on the left wall, I always kill him when he is on top of me, while on the right wall, he usually dies on the ground, which I don't know why, it just happens. But now he will die up. Yeah, I don't know, it all depends on your positioning and your timing on his attacks, because when he does this attack, if you jump, he will go higher, so then you may have more time to get shots in. But yeah, that's about it for this fight. There's not much more going on. I wanna see if he starts by jumping, but he's not really doing that. But yeah, you start all the fights like this basically, no matter the pattern. You can also do like a mix like that, going from left to right, I guess. But it's basically just spam his weakness. And move on with your life. You will usually save or lose time on this split based only on the voice line he gives you, so... also the fight is impossible, so I don't know. Okay, so for the second part, you start by charging. You only need one shot. You actually can just not charge at all, but I prefer to charge. Basic movement. Here you can pass in between this guy's head, I guess, when he looks up, and this little space here. It's pretty tight, but you can do it like that, and then use your shot to kill that guy. It's pretty common to jump and then get hit with him, doesn't matter, just keep going. For the ladder, again, doesn't really matter, you can do this like with dash speed all the way, or just regular wall kicks, and then at the very end you go with dash speed. If you're high enough, you will jump like over the floor. Oops, go like that. And if you're too low, you will land on the ground and then jump again. It doesn't really matter. Here you have two paths, actually. The bottom one is faster, but it's slightly harder, I guess. I've never done the top one, so I will show it, but I don't know how to optimize this section. I don't even know if you can make it with the dash, I don't think so. So you have to use a web, go over, and just damage boost through everything, I imagine. Yeah, and just keep going. There's a hill here. You take the hill and keep going. So this route is actually slower for two reasons now that I think about it. One, because of the additional door right here. And the second one, because you are damage boosting through everything. And the heal at the end, it's pretty hard to avoid, so you will also lose time because of that. And all the damage boost you have to do. So, but at top route you have a very little chance of dying, and I'd imagine it loses like 2 or 3 seconds at most. So if you don't feel comfortable going bottom route, just go here, doesn't lose much time. You should be fine. But now the actual optimal way. So when I get over the ladder, I start charging again. I usually charge 4, you only need 3, I believe. So you go down, move a little bit forward so you land as far right as you can. Of course, without going over. So that when you land, you jump and you get here without having to do a wall kick because you landed too far back. Like that. So you land here. God damn it. The short hop, and then you jump and shoot, and that'll kill these 2 green enemies that spawns here. Usually it will kill the both of them. I think it's only necessary to kill the bottom one though. And then you use another shot to kill these 2 guys. Again, as long as you kill the bottom one, you can usually jump from here to here without problem. So you only need 2 shots, 3 for safety, I guess. So jump, short hop, 1 and shoot, and that'll kill all of them. And sometimes this guy. Sometimes it won't, but sometimes it will. So either way, I always land here, then do a short hop, and then again. And then damage boost with this guy, because he's too tanky to mash. So kinda like that, and then just keep moving. So from here, we jump, then we touch the floor either here or this wall, then keep going and dash to the right, and then we get to this platform. You can, it's pretty kind of impossible, but you can go past this section in one go. I'm pretty sure I had like a save state. Yeah, like that. Like you jump, which here. So as you see, I'm going, and then I go right, then I go just by this, and if you go with full falling speed, you can't make it to the platform on the right. So you would have to keep going left. And I guess in theory this is faster, but it's pretty impossible to get it. And if you get it and you're not prepared for it, you will just die. So yeah, I don't recommend it, but it can happen. So usually you will land here. If you are confident in your timing, then press left a little bit early, so you clip the floor and then dash to the right and land here. You can land directly here. Most of the time you will probably have to wall kick here. So yeah, you go here and then a wall kick. Here, okay, so technically this is the fastest way, 2 short hops, then here to this mech. It's much easier to just dash, let yourself fall, and then wall kick. Because it's pretty common for new players to not know your falling speed and then just go right through and just die. It's pretty common. So I recommend just dashing and then wall kicking here. And for the mech, after you get in the mech, you want to stand still, because those enemies will spawn and will shoot you every time. So if you turn right, they will push you back. If you stand still, they will push you right. Sometimes they spawn closer to you, and the closer they spawn to you, the earlier they shoot to you, so that's better. I think it's just RNG. So yeah, stand still while the shot is coming at you and hold the charge button, because we're gonna use this charge. So get hit, go through this mech, and your iframes will run out on the air right here, and you use that shot to kill this guy. He can hit you. Let's say you don't kill him. He can hit you and push you off like that, and then you have to jump out of the mech. Or he can push you and you land just here on the edge with the mech, like here. But if I get hit, I always just leave the mech and then just take the damage and keep going. So that's why we use the charge to kill that guy. You can shoot in 2 ways. Super early, like back here, and then he will die without hitting you. But I think it's way more consistent to... Oops. Oh, I guess that can happen, an early dash and then into the pit. I think it's much more consistent to get in his face and then release the shot. Like that. And then we get to, again, the boss, the door, the same way we got here before. So the bottom path is much more complex than the top path, but it's faster, so... Oops. So yeah, this is like the stage. Whoops. It's pretty short, so I don't have a problem showing it. You can go over the hill, doesn't really matter. And then switch to Twin Slasher because it's the boss's weakness. After the warning sign, you have to move to the boss to spawn, so don't just drop the controller, you have to actually move to the trigger. So this is General. His hitbox is pretty janky. And his name, as you can see, it says General and then General. So the way this fight is, we're gonna use 8 full charge shots of his weakness, 1 small shot, and Nova, and that's the exact damage you need to kill him. He has a few patterns. I will show like the most common ones, I guess. Just like other bosses, his voice line is RNG. So you will lose or gain time based on that. And yeah, at the beginning of the fight, you are going to have a charge ready.
It was our destiny to...
Then release. You do this twice. Without even moving, you can hit him twice at the beginning. And then you have to react to whatever he does. That pattern, this one where he shoots the gauntlets, if you do the optimal fight, it's barely a few frames slower than the fastest possible fight, so that pattern is really good if you do it optimally. If he flies over you, he does that attack. He rarely does that because usually you are on top of him, like fighting him on top, like on the wall. But you can like go under him sometimes and try to adapt. But I personally never see that attack, because he only does it when you're below him. So, as I said, just short shots, the first 2 you don't move, and then you react. One way to do this fight is, as soon as you see him going up, he's going to do that attack. There's no other option. So you go up, then start charging. And in between, you have to shoot a small shot. And then finish with Nova. And that's one way you can do that pattern. Of course, that's pretty slow, because you have to damage boost to go through. You can also just mash these little twin slashers. It's not much slower. It's pretty easy. You don't have to worry about releasing the charge early or something. Just mash. Now the fastest way involves you climbing the gauntlets. So you release the first 2, you don't even have to move. For the third one, do a tiny hop and then release. Then again, and then move forward again a little bit and release. And then you release on this gauntlet. Then you climb, and then you Nova to the head, so you get to the wall. This is faster because you are constantly hitting him, and you don't have to damage boost to go up and then start damaging him. So that's why that fight is faster than going through the wall. So here, move forward, jump and shoot. Then here Nova, and then here you do a small and 2 charges and he will die. And he should be dead right there. Oh, that was a charge. I forgot the charge, but that's the idea. That last shot is a charge. So that pretty much ties the fastest possible fight we have right now. It can probably be faster. I don't know what would be the pattern though. Yeah, that's it. So that's one way. There's different patterns he can do, where instead of going up, he goes down and then moves across the room, for which you have to react because he has different heights. This is the lowest height, but he can go down like, let's say, one level of heights and then go to the left. He can go down 2 levels, and then you have to just react to whatever he does. This one. So what I do is just keep pumping sharp shots, and then when he goes back to the other side, I follow him with Nova, and that's what I do. And depending on, this is another thing that just kinda comes with experience. You probably saw that I stopped doing short shots and just started doing these small shots. Oh, too high. That's because sometimes he can go, let's say here. He goes as much low as he can, but then he will right here, instead of going low, he will like move immediately to the other side without changing his height. So I switched to small shots just to be more versatile for the fight, because you may have noticed that I'm trying specifically to hit him with the tip of the twin slasher. Doesn't matter if it's the top one or the bottom one, it's always like the tip, because if you try to hit him with the metal part, it just won't hit sometimes, like that, like it just doesn't hit if you don't hit him with the tip. And that's why I say his hitbox is super janky. Because if here he decides to switch heights and I'm not at the correct height to hit him with the tip of the shot, I'll just miss the shot and miss the damage. So yeah, that's why you can see there that I just kinda abandon that strat, and then I start doing this. Like there he went early, so I was ready for the change of heights. So that's pretty much what can happen with this boss. And again, this is another thing that just kinda goes with experience. But ideally, I personally like the pattern of the gauntlet, this one. It's pretty easy, and again, it's pretty much ties the faster fight that we have right now. Oh, I missed a shot. If you miss a shot, you're kind of screwed. So I like this pattern the most, and it's also pretty easy to see. Like there he didn't change heights, so I had to abandon again. This is a pretty bad pattern. And then he can also go low enough to where you can jump and shoot him. But yeah, that's pretty much this fight. You have to practice. I recommend making like a save state outside of the fight, like here, and then doing stuff like jumping and shooting, so you change the RNG. Or you can make one here, I guess it also works. Just change the RNG so you get to see different patterns.
It was our destiny to fight.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Try to hit him with the tip of the blade. Oops. Oop.
Show me.
And then react to whatever height he happens to move. But yeah, sometimes you can get just some very odd patterns and just make the fight kind of annoying.
My fate is sealed, choice.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for this boss, really. See, I didn't have a charge ready there because I was anticipating him to go low, but he didn't, so I just wasn't ready to shoot. There's a little bit of a different pattern that I guess it works when he does that. I'm not really good at it. I'll give it one try.
I have no choice.
Which is you want him to go left, so not that one. Not that one. God damn it, come. Thank you. So you want it to come low, then you shoot him, you Nova, and then when you're falling, you switch and you shoot him back. And that's the current fastest fight we have, which he comes to this side, you Nova, and then you build in that shot into a sharp shot, and then he dies. So that's like the current fastest fight we have. I'm not really good at it, so I never go for it. Also, if he doesn't go down like here, it's much tighter to get that little shot that we shot when he's going down after Nova. This one, if he doesn't go low, it's much harder to hit it. So it ends up, at least for me, it ends up being not that consistent. I do it a little bit differently. As I said before, it's pretty much that same pattern he does now, but I wait for Nova just to follow him. Whoops. And that's pretty much my variant for the fight. Like this. So that's my variant. It's slightly slower, but just a few frames if you're fast enough. But yeah, that's pretty much general. Again, I recommend making a save state right before you trigger the boss and practice all the different kinds of RNG. Here, right here.
My fate, no choice.
And then for this one, this is the easiest way to fight him. Stand here and pump the small shots. And then finish with Nova. But yeah, that's it for this fight. Just mash X and keep going. And so now we are at the boss rush. So this is finally coming to an end. So yeah, see ya next time.